Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Keith Silva, in for Judy Simpson. Home sharing sounds exactly like what it is, a way for someone with an extra room in their home to offer housing to another person. But for those involved, it can mean so much more. Sometimes it's a straight rental, or it can be an exchange of services, like cooking, light housekeeping, helping to run errands, or having someone there just in case. Since 1982, HomeShare Vermont has worked to match homeowners and people looking for a place to live and put them together. Over the last 3 years, the average monthly rent paid by participants in HomeShare Vermont was under $175 per month, with 45% paying no rent at all in exchange for their services. To learn more about HomeShare Vermont, I'm joined by Executive Director Kirby Dunn. And next to Kirby is Sally Ballin, who is a Burlington resident and a HomeShare Vermont host. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Kirby, let's tell folks, what is HomeShare Vermont?
We're a nonprofit organization that provides really a screening and matching service, helping people who want to stay in their home, find a housemate, and help others who are looking for a place to live. And really what our work is focused on the screening and the matchmaking.
There are a couple of things that we'll talk about as far as, what it is and what it isn't, so that folks understand it. But who's a typical home sharer? Who's a typical host?
Yeah. Well, we don't have really a lot of typicals. What we like to say is every home sharing match is unique.
Okay.
And it's really based on the two people involved. But typically, the person with a home tends to be an older person. Our age range, though, is from 26 to 99 right now.
Wow.
And for the person looking for housing, typically is a younger person. Our average age there is about 45. Very often it might be someone in transition, someone who's needing an affordable place. They're going to school. Maybe they just moved to the area for a new job. Maybe they're coming out of a divorce, whole variety of types of situations.
And HomeShare Vermont works with both the guests and the hosts. Are there more guests than hosts, or how does that break down?
Yeah, well, with the housing crisis in Vermont, housing is so expensive. If you just want to rent a one-bedroom apartment, it could cost you $3,000 to move in with your first month's, last month's rent and security deposit. It's just atrocious. So for people on limited incomes, it's hard to find an affordable place to live. So right now we have about 7 times as many people looking for a place to live as we have homes available.
Wow. So there's definitely a need for more folks to maybe think about opening that extra room.
Yeah.
Sally, what made you decide to share your home?
Well, I'd known about the home share program for a long time, but what I didn't know was that I didn't really understand what it was. Mm-hmm. And when I talked to Kirby about it in just sort of a casual way, I discovered that it was really something that might work for me. Mm-hmm. I thought because of the kind of needs the kind of assistance that I wanted, which was computer tech assistance, because I have a home business and a lot of computer needs and issues. And she said, well, we can do that. And that's what really turned my head around and got me curious about learning more and ultimately deciding to be a home share host.
That's wonderful. Is this I'm not saying that Sally is typical at all, but is this the sort of need where you have someone that has the room and a need for whatever reason, and you think, yeah, we can put them together?
Absolutely. I mean, it can be whatever two people agree on. So, and I think tech support is one of those things that some of us have a harder time with as it gets more complicated. But for a younger person to move in and need an affordable place to live, that's just second nature.
Right.
They don't even see that as work.
Right, right. How was the process working with HomeShare, Sally?
It's been great. They do such an excellent job of screening and matching people that really it's worked out really well for me. I felt like I really hit the jackpot, and my home sharer felt that she really hit the jackpot too. So that was ideal, an ideal match for us.
Now, this is a process where once you put the people together, you don't sort of wipe your hands of it and walk away. There's still a process where you're talking with them and working with them, correct?
Absolutely. We provide ongoing support for the length of the match. We call it a match. So as long as the two folks are still living together, we're there to answer questions, if needs change, help have conversations, So it's really an ongoing support process all the way from beginning to end.
Sally, did you discover anything about home sharing that you didn't expect? I mean, I assumed that you had the rent and you had this perhaps computer services or whatever.
Yeah.
What else did you discover?
Well, it's interesting. I never anticipated that it would be so much fun. I really enjoyed the company, the conversation, the companionship. We would make dinner together a couple nights a week. It was just a wonderful addition to the household, and I didn't expect that to be so much a part of it for me.
What did you expect? When you asked you what you didn't expect, what did you expect?
Well, I expected I would have somebody who sort of was leading her own life, coming and going, and once a week we'd get together at my computer, and then once a week we'd have. I didn't really anticipate that we would become such great friends.
Okay. Well, that's great. Is that common? Is it common to the two people to sort of bond? Is that the right word, or become friends?
Yeah, I mean, I think we see it different than a traditional roommate situation. You know, a traditional roommate situation when you were in college,
right.
You know, I went my way, you went your way, and you know, we just were there to save money and just have a roof over our heads, right? I think home sharing is a little more about the companionship, the friendship. You know, I'm not going to guarantee we're going to find you your new best friend,
right.
But you know, it's really about two people wanting to spend time with each other and wanting to help each other. And certainly hosts, you know, by offering someone a place to live, you know, boy, you can't offer that a greater service or greater help to someone, especially in this economy, in this market.
Well, we talked a little bit. Sally mentioned some computer issues that she has worked out with her home share partner, and then also some cooking. What are some of the other things that can be bartered for? What are some examples in case people are wondering?
Yeah, it can really be all sorts of things. It can be maybe help with yard work. It might be help with pets. Very often, you know, pet care is harder as we get a little older. It can be sort of being in the home while you go away on your vacation.
Okay.
So it can be whatever the two people agree on: driving, cooking, having a meal together. Really anything two people agree on. The service component is about an average of about 10 hours a week of service in exchange for a place to live.
And is this a set list? Like, you know, I didn't sign up for yard work or anything. The list can grow or change as the needs of the two people, I suppose.
Absolutely. It's really up to people in the program to decide, you know, what they want, what they need, who they want to live with, what are the house rules, how are we going to do this? And our role is to help facilitate that and do an agreement so that, you know, the expectations are clear from the onset.
Okay. Now, Sally, there are a lot of ways to rent a room or let a room. That was the phrase I sort of was stuck on as I was working, developing the script. Why didn't you decide to put an ad in a classified ad in the newspaper or go through the internet, Craigslist or something like that?
What I liked about HomeShare was that all the screening and background checking that they do, the careful matching, the home visit, the interviews, the facilitation of a lease agreement, all that was hugely valuable to me. I didn't want to be doing that process myself or interviewing people. I really trusted them and their reputation to find a match for me that would work well, and it surely did.
You didn't want to be a landlord. You didn't want to be someone who was saying, you know, hey, here's the room and here's the rules.
Right. It's a much more friendly kind of relationship.
Right. Is the way Sally approached it, you know, not sort of wanting those headaches and not wanting to be, is that what most people come to HomeShare Vermont looking to be a host?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the value added. I think it's, you know, the service that we provide is pretty thorough and comprehensive, and I think it is a hard thing to do and on your own. People can do it on their own, certainly, and a lot of people do, but really having that extra set of eyes and ears and having a knowledge of what's a reasonable exchange, what's a reasonable expectation for that relationship really helps have that third party throughout that process.
Now, we've talked a little bit about the screening process and the matching process. How long does that take, and how rigorous is it?
Yeah, we do 4 or 5 background checks on every person that comes through the program. We also do references. We require 4 references on every person.
Okay.
So all of that is done ahead of time. Then the in-depth interview is really trying to get at what are people looking for, what is their lifestyle. Very, very comprehensive upfront work. So, we don't guarantee finding a match for everyone.
Right.
It's really about what people are willing to do for each other. So that process up front can take several weeks. It might take us several months before we found a match for someone, and some people we don't find a match for.
Right. And you also said, as we were talking before the program started, that home shares end, and you also try to remind people of that this is sort of a finite thing, and that's got to be important too.
Absolutely. I think we're not looking for lifestyle, for lifetime roommates here.
Right.
This is something that you're going to do for a while. Very often, home shares last on average about 18 months.
Okay.
And it's usually the home share guest, moves on to something else in their life.
Right.
So they might go on to getting their own apartment or falling in love, which we try to prevent whenever possible. But people do move on in life.
Right.
But very often we have about 50% of our hosts will re-up and find another match. So, so that can happen, and it's very often we'll have people in the program for 6 or 7 or 8 years.
Right. Wow. Sally, the person that you're home sharing with, is this your first home share experience?
Has been my first experience.
It has been your first.
Very successful.
So would you re-up?
Absolutely.
You would?
Oh yeah.
You would?
Absolutely. I'm sold on it, and I really trust HomeShare Vermont to do their job of finding a suitable person.
If I was thinking back before you joined HomeShare and someone had told you about it, what would you say? What would you say to that Sally Balin back then?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, I would have probably said, "Oh, I don't think that's for me. I've lived alone a long time. I'm not sure how I would feel about having someone here." But for all the reasons that I didn't expect it to be wonderful, it's just completely changed my mind about it.
That's wonderful. That's just great. What about regions? HomeShare Vermont, what regions do they cover? And you also have a sister organization.
Right, so we cover the Champlain Valley, so we cover the Franklin County, Addison County, Chittenden, and Grand Isle counties out of our South Burlington office, and we do that through a cadre of volunteers that help us. And then we have a sister program in Barrie, and that covers 3 counties in the central Vermont area. We also have a do-it-yourself manual, so if people are living outside of our service area, we have a guidebook that can walk them through how to find someone if they're looking for someone, and we're always available to provide support during that process.
That's great, because when I was seeing the map, I was sort of thinking, oh, well, if you don't live in a service area, but the extra one allows people to sort of do this on your own, and you'll help them with some of that counseling or help them with some of that.
Absolutely. And just 15 years ago, this program was really only available in Burlington.
Right.
So the program has greatly expanded, and hopefully someday we'll be statewide.
That would be great. In your time with HomeShare Vermont, you've been there almost from the beginning, but no. 16 years. You said.
Yeah.
That's right. You're celebrating your 35th anniversary. I don't want to date you. How much have you seen it change in the time that you've been there?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's really grown both geographically and number-wise, the number of people. We've really changed it. Originally, it was a program that was just set up for people who are seniors or people with disabilities. Right. Now it's open to people of all ages, people of all incomes. We're really looking at it as a housing choice for people to encourage more people to share their homes. And we think, with the boomer generation, this is something that fits. It's a very Vermont kind of solution to helping 2 people.
Well, we're just about out of time. How can people find out about HomeShare Vermont and take advantage of this great program?
Yeah, we'd love if folks want to just give us a call or send us an email or visit our website. Just give us a call and talk with us and see if this might be a fit.
And the phone number's up there on the screen, 863-5625, area code 802. Sure. Well, I want to thank you both very much. This has been a lot of fun to find out about HomeShare Vermont. And as always, we want to thank you for stopping by Across the Fence.